All right. Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is a wild day in the market. So let's check it out. I don't even know where to start. Let's just run through some stuff and see what's going on, get an idea how this week is shaping up because it's looking pretty good. I see some interesting stuff going on. So, as always, BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. All right. A little bit of news quickly. Zelensky ready to discuss find and compromise on Crimea, no longer insists on NATO membership. So it seems like Zelensky is slacking off on the whole NATO membership thing, because I don't actually need those to be on. And I ultimately think that's probably a good thing. This good tweet here says, looks like Ukraine is finally ready to cut a deal. Zelensky gave up on the NATO fantasy, and his top advisor is speaking openly about long-term security guarantees. So, good. I'm not pro-Russia, nor am I pro-Ukraine. I'm just extremely anti-NATO, all right? But then again, Poland has made available all of its MiG-29 jets for U.S. to transfer to Ukraine. Poland, you're seriously retarded because you got to think about this. Remember, Poland, remember what you're fighting for. Is that the picture you have in the top of your helmet? I myself had the lady back home. I think this is kind of pathetic, and I wouldn't kill your soldiers for this dude. Anyway, with that said, Putin signs countermeasure decree limiting Russia exports after Biden's Russian oil import ban. As we know, Biden scuffled up to the podium, said some dumb things today, as usual. And of course, now we've got more sanctions on incoming oil and such from Russia. Whatever. They'll just sell it to the other BRIC nations. It doesn't make a difference. It just makes our crude oil prices spike. So, as always, good job, genius. Anyway, Russia Deputy Gorkin called on the authorities to support the creation of Russian cryptocurrency exchange. This is interesting. Take it for what it's worth. This is interesting. Are we making the BRIC nations the new Warsaw Pact 2.0? Anyway, this is interesting. You either kind of get it or you don't. It all depends on one's knowledge of geopolitics and crypto itself. This is definitely interesting. All right. I'm going to put this in the live chat right now. I'll also post it as a comment on this video. I thought this was only available on Netflix. I'm sorry, on Amazon streaming until last night when someone showed me that it's actually been cribbed here a few times over on BitChute. So this version here is not as perfect not as perfect a resolution as you will see on Amazon streaming if you get it there, but it is free. So over on BitChute, I put the link in there. This is Ukraine on Fire. Really, I just think that anybody who wants to have a knowledge of what's going on in the Ukraine-Russia situation and NATO and like Biden's remarks today, actually, and maybe who Biden is and what he was doing back in 2014. Anyway, check this out. Really, if you want to have an understanding of what's going on, this goes back to like pre-World War II, gets into a lot of interesting stuff. I think that Stone, who created this, leaned on the Nazi thing a little bit more than is actually valid for the Ukrainian German kind of joining, like a lot of Ukrainians joining the German forces in World War II as they went towards Stalin. We have to realize that between World War I and World War II, Stalin had starved millions of Ukrainians. So when the German military was going that way to go kick some ass, the Ukrainians were like, we have a militia, sure, we'll help. And so I think Oliver Stone calling all of them ideological Nazis is kind of incorrect, but yet there definitely are some Nazis in the Ukraine. So watch this. It is a phenomenal education, and it ain't even the start of it. So really, it's so worth your time if you want to know what's going on. All right, nickel prices, nickel futures. What in the crap? Well, this has to do with the current world situation. You can't sanction your own where things come from and think it's not going to have an effect. So, well, brilliance in foreign policy right there. It's going to make batteries really expensive. So, for heaven's sakes, if you need batteries, or even if you don't, stock up on your triple A's, your double A's, your C's, your big D batteries, any battery you need. The little small ones like the C1230s, the ones you see on a lot of like alarm systems and you name it, red dot sites, get all those batteries because nickel may not get cheaper unless this conflict dies down and the sanctions die down and such. So anyway, boom, and that's not going to help the price of electric cars either. So with that said, take that, Teslas. Anyway, so spot trading volume for Bitcoin today on Binance, 14 billion. That's kind of, it used to be where like 30 billion, 50 billion was more the norm. Really, I'm just like I said before, we're seeing it spread across more of the big exchanges right now. So overall, we're seeing only a slight up and then some in the negative as far as percent, as far as volume. Some are seeing a little bit of a continued tick up. Some are seeing a little bit of a little bit of a tick down now. So volume is beginning to wane. Volume was very high yesterday. Volume across the big exchanges for spot is beginning to at least kind of go sideways or slightly down. And that's, well, not too positive for price action. But let's see, Coinbase Exchange had almost 3 billion. I'm going to start kind of looking at Coinbase now more than Binance because Coinbase is at 2.9 billion if I round it up. If you can get the 3 billion in volume for spot on Coinbase, it's a pretty good day. It used to be where I looked at Binance for the kind of market feel, but it's just not the volume it used to have. And check this out. No, actually, don't check that out. Crypto.com exchange, 2.6 billion. Not bad at all. KuCoin coming in at 1.7. So anyway, we're seeing a lot more volume across the big exchanges spread. So good to go. That's enough to get us by. Derivatives, 57 billion. Okay, 50 billion or above for derivatives on Binance. Good day. 60 billion. Better day. 70 billion plus. Really, really good day. So we definitely have derivatives volume on Binance. That's where I kind of gauge the market there. Right now, I'm going to have to just kind of say that crap above 15 billion is at least a sideways day for volume on Binance now, and above 3 billion is definitely a good day on Coinbase. So for the market, using these as measurements. So anyway, 2.9 billion Coinbase, almost over 3 billion. That's working pretty good. Crypto.com exchange, 2.6 billion. That's looking pretty good too. So we're going to have to start. I'm going to have to start kind of measuring this differently to get a feel for the market. Things are a little bit sideways here. One second. I wanted to look at, actually, no, we'll go from here. Yeah, we'll do this. Looking at a Coin 360 for the last hour. Let me refresh this while we go over here. Now, wait, we'll just give it a sec. Just refresh. A little faster. There we go. So if this stays relevant, okay, last hour, we're seeing some movement up. We definitely had some volatility while President Biden was speaking, but that seems to have leveled out some. And now, of course, now we're in the red. This thing, I hate it. You know what? I'm going to kill it. I'm not using Coin 360 anymore. I don't know why it does that. It's always so confusing. This works so much better. We definitely are seeing some green in the market now. Volatility this morning was a for certain. We had a little bit of a rally this morning, and then we kind of went sideways and down while President Biden was speaking, and now we're kind of rallying back up. We'll take a look at that a little bit closer. But in general, the crypto market, even with this low, spot trading volume across the exchanges, big exchanges, I'm seeing some nice green here in the market. Looking at the top 100, Terra is up 12%, Monero up 8.7%, Zcash up 19%. That's pretty cool. So we definitely have some alts in play. Theta Network maybe getting ready to take off again, up 6.7%. So definitely we have a strong top 100 alts today. I like what I'm seeing, even with low volume and volatility this morning. Looking at Bitcoin trading volume explicitly. We have 4.3 billion if we round that up. Not bad at all. Binance coming in at 2.4 billion. Not bad. Coinbase did not hit a billion. It's at 961 million. Anyway, pretty strong day. We're above 3 billion. We're holding that consistently. We seem to be holding above 4 billion consistently last 2 days. I dig what I'm seeing. This is nice Bitcoin trading volume explicitly. Looking here at cryptometer.io. So we had 4.3 billion there at Bitcoin trading volume, and over here at cryptometer.io, if it will come up for me here. While that's coming up, we will look at longs versus shorts on Binance. Or on Binance, longs versus shorts for Bitcoin: 62% long, 37% short. And then for Ethereum on Binance, 64% long, 35% short. So definitely long bias for Bitcoin and Ethereum on Binance. Cryptometer.io seems to have lost it today. We'll come back and check it out. I wanted to mention metals today. My heavens, these are daily charts. Top here is gold, bottom is silver. A strong day for gold. Gold is over 2,000. It's at 2,050. I'm sure that Peter Schiff has a serious Woody right now, if you know who he is. And now if you look at silver below, silver coming in at $26. That's really amazing. Both are above all important moving averages on the daily. Gold is pumping like a shit coin. That is wild. So this is just a blessing. I like seeing it. Let's go back to cryptometer.io for, okay, it's given up on us. Here is an interesting coin, PAXG versus BTC. So basically, if you bought PAXG, a gold-based stable coin with Bitcoin, if you can see, ever since like well, for a while now, but this thing has been cruising pretty darn well. I mean, it's really been on like an upward trend ever since around like March 2nd, the beginning of March. So in a very, very strong, we had this beautiful 200 moving average, cross right here. And ever since then, it's been doing quite well. And it's just one of these, it's an interesting buy. It's an interesting hedge because you're dealing with two moving targets. I mean, I have been in and out of this a little bit. And, when Bitcoin was getting weak, and I just find this is just too tight of a trade, especially with, gold ultimately now is, I mean, if you'd gotten in this morning before gold started pumping, you'd be doing great. But as you can see, it's just really, really volatile, but I'm just mentioning it. If you're really, really brave, check out PAXG, PAXG versus BTC. If Bitcoin does get weak in the market, does look like it's going to have a downtrend, PAXG is a great way to make some more sats if you want to hedge out. But definitely a tricky trade. But if you look at it overall, it has been very volatile, but on an uptrend. So, it's all about what do you think of gold versus Bitcoin. Interesting thing. I wanted to mention corn futures. I know this is Bitcoin Daily View. I'm talking about gold and corn, but still, it's all relevant. Corn on the daily chart has just been pumping beyond belief. This is corn futures, and so it's just been nuts. But now on the daily chart, we've actually started to level off a little bit. Take it for what it's worth. That's kind of a good thing. We don't want corn prices just to go forever. They're beginning to trail off a little bit, and that's not so bad. I wonder if I can get some wheat future about that. Okay, but wheat futures, as you can see, are still on a rocket ship to Pluto. They're nuts. So wheat is just let's actually look at that. Make sure I'm grabbing the right one here. Forecast. So since it started moving up, which is around like 3rd of February, it has, if you look at right now where it's sitting, it has gone up 72% in 33 days. You got to realize these, wheat futures are boring. Okay, you kind of need leverage to even make money off these things. So 72% in 33 days. This is a big deal. This is a very, 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 very big deal. Corn futures beginning to chill out a little bit, but wheat futures definitely are not. And I'm not sure the ticker for soy. I'm going to start looking at actually soy, wheat, and corn. If you can forgive me, I'll have all three on the screen. and we'll start looking at those because really it's a big deal. And I want it to, I thought I had it up here, but I don't. So let me go to YouTube real quick. I'm going to put in DAP 2030. This is big stuff. I don't know. I always recommend his channel, but for real, this is something you really should check out. Just look at the at how wartime and how climate, or not climate change, but grand solar minimum and such are actually affecting the world. These prices, you should at least know and be able to react to this before it's too late. So I will wish you the best. Definitely check out David Devine there on DAP 2030 and learn about what's going on, because it's a big deal. And if you are alive, it affects you. So here we go. Looking at the US ruble. So basically rubles, US dollars purchased with rubles. In general, you've been making money on it on the daily. So I imagine a lot of Russian oligarchs probably did buy a shit ton of dollars with their rubles. But check it out though. It's been a rocket ship to Pluto. If you'd bought dollars with rubles, you've been doing very, very well on the daily. But of course, today, a red candle with some serious wicks on it. What's changing? Something's going on. Check the second chart out here. It is US dollars purchasing rubles. Okay, so above is rubles that purchased. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, above here is rubles that purchased USD. They just started to trail off on their profit. In the middle one here is USD that purchased rubles. Well, in general, you'd have been losing your ass. But today we have a green candle. Interesting. Something is changing. What's going on? Check this out. Crude oil on the daily chart, we are coming in at $124 a barrel. That is nuts. Now, not to belabor the point, but just check this out. Ever since we started, let's say, pumping back around like the, let's just say about the time that all this shenanigans started, right? If we go back to like 25th of February, I hate that one. Sorry. That kid always messes me up. Now we'll try to keep the flow here quick. I'm moving a little bit slow. Okay, so in 11 days, crude oil is up 36%. And something I've been seeing on like the Twitterverse, and I didn't grab any to show you, but one of the things that I'm seeing on the Twitterverse and in social media is where we saw a lot of like celebrities who were saying like we should all do our patriotic duty, and like all these hardships are good because gas is bad and all this kind of stuff. And this puts the screws to Putin, as Takai said, Mr. Solo from Star Trek. A lot of celebrities have been like, you should just, you should enjoy the suffering of the inflation because it hurts somebody that we don't like, and it's your patriotic. Just think of it as like a chance to be a good patriot, And people are like, dude, for people who aren't wealthy, this means we can't pay our mortgage, we can't heat our home, our kids have to do like the school lunch program. I mean, it's like, so. Looking at this, I think we're seeing this is going to create, not that you're unaware of this, but this is quickly going to create a different social economic balance, which is not going to be silent in this country very, very fast. So I'm glad that people like, going and fighting for these guys and doing their bidding, but ultimately it's definitely for real hurting people. And this here is an absolute example of 36% crude oil up percent wise in 11 days. That seriously is not good for Americans or anybody else. Now look at the big markets. SPX, S&P 500, I believe markets closed at 345. I think markets closed right now or close to it. S&P 500 closed below all important moving averages on the daily chart. A third, 1, 2, 3, the fourth red candle in a row on the daily. It did challenge the 314 moving average here, but it did not get above it. So anyway, S&P 500 kind of pretty much plummeted with with a fighting wick. Today, Russell 2000 did close green, just barely. That's good to go. Dow Jones Industrial Average. 1, 2, 3, fourth red candle in a row. Gosh, and look at that. You know, if you're a Bitcoiner, you hear about the damn CME futures gap every single day. Look at that gap right there. Boom. Is that going to fill? Well, it did wick. We'll see. Probably not then. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, fourth red candle in a row. That's pretty damn extreme. So the S&P 500 and the Dow just sucking ass right now. Here's another one. Along with this over here, we saw, let's see, where was it? Sorry, guys. Where was it? Yes, like along here where you saw the, rubles purchasing USD just started to lose money. And then, of course, USD purchasing rubles. USD purchasing rubles just started to... Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Anyway, things are starting to reverse. So anyway, the DXY first red, close in a while. So this is interesting. A DXY dollar strength index has just been rocking. Well, it just kind of trailed off. So bear with me here. So the dollar strength index just beginning to trail off. And then also if we look here, rubles used to purchase USD just started losing money today. And then of course, USD used to purchase rubles just started to turn around and make money today after it's been plummeting. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry, guys. Anyway, interesting stuff in the charts. And that, of course, corresponds with why is the dollar strength index beginning to weaken. So we're just seeing kind of a change in the market today, a bit of a turnaround. So let's rock over here to Bitcoin very, very quickly here. Boom, boom. I like this. This is the daily chart. Starting a Fibonacci sequence here, back on the 20th of July, riding up to the height, the high there, and now coming back down. You can see it's been riding the 786 fib. It kind of came down to it, wicked below it yesterday. Today it has not gone below it. It's been very, very volatile. But could we see a bounce here? This is, Bitcoin. Come on, at a certain point you've bottomed out. It does look like maybe, if you were to think like the whales, okay. I have a 4-hour chart here up. I do. Let's use the daily though. If you were a whale right now and you were working this thing, you'd be doing something like this. Okay. Yeah, that came back. Anyway, you would, dang, that's gonna be a pain. Let me actually let me just kill all that. I hate to do it, but I want to kind of make this a little bit more apparent. 4-hour chart. All right, 4-hour chart. There you are. So if you were a whale right now, you would be thinking like this, okay? You'd be right in here. That would be your middle zone, of course. Then up here, you're going to be shorting, all right? And then here, you're going to be buying. And and of course they're manipulating the market with large markets, sell and buy orders, etc., like that, and sell walls and buy walls and you name it. So this is a great this is a great range where whales can seriously play the market, and of course you can too. Think like a whale, do what they're doing. So are we going to start? So is this kind of is this at this moment right now? Is this when the whales begin to accumulate to get ready for that next dump? We have enough time in this range to call it somewhat valid, I think. So anyways, I'm going to see if I can get all my groovy stuff back here. Can I get it? Yes. So anyway, there we are. So I say sorry if I'm a little bit slow today. Actually, of all things, I pulled a muscle in my back. So I'm kind of like, I'm still eager and healthy and happy and wise and all that, but recovering from kind of a slight ouchie. I'm not a frail person, but we all get injured once in a while. So anyway, we're riding that 786 fib line right now. We sit above it today. It's a nice thing to see. And let's see how it rolls. I mean, the 618 golden pocket, as you can see right here, it's like highlighted. Definitely is a place where Bitcoin here in the daily has stuck to. Above it tends to be pretty bullish, below it tends to be kind of bearish. So we're in bearish territory right now. but the 786 fib line right around 37,770 is a place that we do tend to find kind of a bull bear mark. Level. If we look at the MACD, it's still negative. Watch for that, but that we're just starting to see some the negativity like ease off a little bit. Let's watch for some upwards movement. If that tangent does turn towards the positive, boom, it's going to be a good day. We've given a lot back, as you can see, even with everything going on in the world recently. We're having some crazy volatility, but in my opinion, it's just where the whales are keeping it. They're ranging it for their purposes. So think like a whale. I mean, you can also see the range right here. Are we going to go up here? And either we're going to keep going, or, if the whales decide we're going to do this again. But either way, if we start running, I would just be alert and realize that if you buy this bounce here, we are below important moving averages on the daily, but the 50 is only at like it's a ways away, but the 50 moving average is like 39,900 or so. If we can get above the 50 moving average, find support there. Wouldn't surprise me if we ride back to the top of the 618 level, 618 golden pocket. And then it's all about, are we going to break above or not? If we have a powerfully good looking MACD, maybe we'll break above. You can always put a trailing take profit in there. And if it turns around, too many percent after you're in profit, well, it just sells. It's a beautiful thing. So 4-hour chart, this is the same chart, same Fibonacci sequence, just here on a 4-hour chart. So you can see right here, these bounces into the 618 are pretty powerful. We tend to bounce back off of that. One of the things you can definitely look for is this RSI cave. It's linked to over at bitcoindailyview.com. I have this indicator linked to there. But basically, when you start hitting top of that RSI cave, you're usually gonna bounce off of it, the top or the bottom. So we bounce at the top here. On the 4-hour chart, we're bouncing off the bottom here, but now we're going sideways. So 4-hour chart, we're below the 2-minute moving average. Its indicators are beginning to slowly perk back up. So it kind of looks like we're in a little bit of recovery mode after today's volatility. I do think there was a lot of fear about, I did not listen to President Biden, but I did not hear any, I was listening to other people basically commenting on what he was saying. And I did not hear anything about crypto regulations. And I think that was something people had a lot of fear about today. And that definitely caused some volatility in the market. So, but I have not heard of anything actually coming to fruition that he did not at least mention it today. But we all do know that crypto regulations are coming because, whatever reason you may think. Anyway, BTC versus USDT, of course, here in the 45-minute chart, as you can see here, once again, you can see, what I call, kind of a whale range here. They're kind of holding there in the middle and they're buying, they're selling the tops, sell up here, buy down here, maybe pull us in a little bit here. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. Or you can tighten it up. Maybe they're playing like right here. I always watch for these ranges. It just makes sense to me. I'm not gonna look at it anymore on the daily view because it just takes up kind of too much time. But the whole bull versus bear, live trading there, we can see the big trades coming in. If you watch that, you can just see what's going on. The manipulation to manipulate and hold a range like this, very, very easy for them. Very, very easy, and make money. And so, like I say, they're gonna short here and they're long here all day long. Well, every time the chart works for them to do so. So anyways, here on the 45-minute chart, if we do look at the indicators, directional X is in the green, ADX is slightly trending up. Squeeze indicator is negative after today's volatility. The S&P binary candles have been red for a while, but really, as you can see here on the 45-minute chart, we did have this beautiful burst recently, which started back on like the 28th of February. Got in that 618 pocket, could not hold it, and general news, etc., and FUD drove this thing down. Now we're right here in this range. The whales really enjoy very much to manipulate with especially FUD and slightly low volume. For spot trading, it makes it very easy for them to play this range, and they are. So do what works for you in this situation. We are below the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. I'm in general going to have my cards close to my chest. I'm going to be kind of careful about trading any alts right now against USDT or USD or BTC. I'm sorry, or BTC or USDT or USDC or BNB, whatever, any spot trading I want to do, I'm very, very careful because I find that life works better. Trades have a much greater a much greater probability, I have found, when you are above the 200 moving average for 12 to 24 hours and you stay there. That is when Bitcoin is above that. Then I find that you have much more predictable results when you're doing your alt trades. So everybody, sorry that was kind of long. I'm sort of like spending a lot of time on the heating pad of all things. I pulled a back muscle. Weird. Of all the things I do, which are very violent and very, very physical, I'm fine. I have not hurt myself in years. But I was lifting something light and I pulled a back muscle. It's just silly. Anyway, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. There is a war going on, the players, we may differ in our opinion as to who they are and their motivations, but there definitely is a war going on. And the way to put an end to that is sound money. And we hear a lot about revolutions and how great they are. But I think that if you watch this documentary, you will find that revolutions, when they are violent, are always ugly and they ultimately never work. You just get new a-holes to replace the last a-holes. Violence just doesn't seem to work. It's very disappointing. I sure wish it did, but it doesn't. So what does work? The peaceful revolution. And crypto is the first global peaceful revolution. And I dig it. So, and remember, for every single Bitcoin Satoshi you own, you make this creature cry. In fact, as you can see, he can no longer hold his true form, his like fake human form. You're starting to see, can you see that? He's not quite the way he usually looks. So every Bitcoin Satoshi you own makes him actually unable to hold his fake human form. So keep stacking those sats. And we're going to show this guy. He will expose himself. Take care, everybody.